I hope this is the right place. Uh, yep. Hello everyone and welcome to, Cole Friend Fun Pals, I guess.
Something.
Still haven't fixed the computer issues, but at least now I know what they are. Hey, um, yeah. Anyways, so we're just gonna be doing some drawstring tonight. But guess what? Big news sauce. Circuit. Do you know what tomorrow is?
Gertie's got her special friend coming over with a special thing tomorrow. Is that what you're talking about? You know the thing that she got from that website that's all about the giant reptilian creatures and the really weird things that you can buy from them? I mean, I didn't even think that was legal, but oh, they had so many. Granny couldn't decide, so she just bought them all. Granny really came from a lot of money, and she doesn't know what to do with it, except for really horrible things. You don't want a picture with Granny, but she's gonna describe
Granny
them in
Circuit has
detail.
gone too far.
Okay. I'm guessing Derby Day.
Yes, it is. Tomorrow is Derpy Hooves Day. Get your muffin mix at the ready. I know I did. I bought like 3 different kinds.
I already had the Muffy mix. I had the muffin mix for almost a year now. I've had it been sitting in my cupboard. I barely remembered to get the tin from when I was at the grocery store the last time I was there this Sunday. I almost completely messed up, but I got the tin. So tomorrow I will make a batch of muffins, and to prove it. And I offer this challenge to everybody out here. To prove that you have made muffins, I demand you post. Why can't I remember this damn password? I demand that you post that. Oh, right. It's because I'm an idiot. I demand you post it onto the lounge chat in our Discord.
And if you're lazy like me, you can also buy muffins, but make sure they're good muffins.
You know what? If you get any muffins at all, whether self-made, bot-made, or however else you made, post them. Show your derpy love. Or else Granny's gonna have to talk about her stories when she decided to go to and Granny decided that she wanted to go and watch weightlifters in the park. Now she's on several lists. Do you want to know the story?
No, but I do see that you have an entirely new profile pic.
Oh yes, yeah. For my birthday, one of the Discord groups I'm in, they actually do little birthday images, Earth images for fun, and so they gave me that for my image. So I said, cool, I like that. So I decided to go ahead and put it on as my profile pic. Granted, there's another one I would like to use as well, but I'm holding back for the moment because well, for one thing, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use it to start, and yeah, I just want to make sure we got heads up on what exactly is going on before I throw it up, kind of the situation.
Okay.
That's a tease you'll never understand. Fine, okay, and I got the chat room up now, so now people want to read go in abject horror about what the hell I'm doing. You're more than welcome to. Yeah. I really am making some cocoa here with a good shot of whiskey. Rainbow Dash whiskey. Oh, yeah.
We actually introduced the call at some point.
Oh,
No.
right. In the call we have some people.
Some people.
Indeed.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay.
Yay.
Ah!
But yeah, no, actually, yeah. There's we got circuit.
Hey, I'm trying so hard not to suddenly shift into Granny voice. I don't know. I think I did. I think I've set myself on a horrible path here.
We've got Suki.
Yay. Yeah, I'm here.
Yay, here.
Oh.
We've got
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
Text Alien.
Present.
We've got CMC.
I exist. Maybe. Who knows?
And I'm your dust host, Cole. I'm currently scribbling on your screen right now. Look at me go.
Is that Derpy with a mustache?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is definitely muffin time.
oh, you're going for the Spider-Man meme guy.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
I need pictures! Pictures of Derpy! Pictures of muffins! I need pictures of muffins! Spider muffins! Is that
Why
right?
can't I remember his name?
Oh, it's John Hancock.
Is that actually his name?
Jameson.
No,
J. Jonah Jameson.
It's J. Jonah Jameson. It's not John Hancock.
I would have believed you.
Yeah.
I'm not terribly familiar with most Spider-Man stuff. Like I have seen the third movie in one of the franchises.
Well, other than the most recent franchise, there's only one other one that I can think of that had a third movie.
Then it was probably that one. It had that guy who's Spider-Man and
How many Spider-Mans did it have?
No. That's not that question. You gotta ask. What was Red Foreman there?
who?
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Maybe.
That 70s show, if you don't know it.
The 70 it had the guy from 70 show, but Red Foreman was his dad in the show.
I've honestly never seen that 70s show.
Really?
Which is why I went for the easier. How many Spider-Mans were in this third movie?
Yeah, I think that might be
there's
considered spoilery.
Just one?
I think so. It was like when he didn't want to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then what? Wait, is it? Did he not want to be Spider-Man, or did he end up start dressing up all darkly, acting like like trying to act like he's like that person that tries to act really badass, but they end up just looking like a horrible douche.
No, he like just didn't want to be Spider-Man anymore, and then like he was just like trying to like get his life around and whatnot, and then he saw
Oh, what
crimes
did it
and
have
stuff.
Did it have Doc Ock?
Yeah, the tentacle guy, yeah, had him.
Congratulations, you saw the second movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah. I know what you're talking about though. So yeah, the pieced it together at least.
So, wait, was it 2 that had that basically gave him like where they gave him like the Jesus allegory moment?
Yeah, it's just like careful with him. He's a hero.
Yeah. It was the one where they were just like he's so young, even like just as young as my son or whatever. Yeah.
Even though I think at the time Tobey Maguire was like what it was like what 35.
Was he?
You know what? I mean, it could be as young as their son. I mean, you don't know how if that
True.
lady had a really interesting high school.
Like Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man 2 was 2004. Hang on, Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire was born 1975. So the movie released in 2004. So that's okay. So he was okay. So he was actually 20. So he was 29 when the movie released.
I am with you. 100% with you, Draconicus.
Wait,
Spider-Man 2 is the
85.
example of a great sequel.
95, 2000. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he was 29. And of course, this is Hollywood. This was back when, you can't actually have teenagers play teenagers.
The Beverly Hills thing.
Yeah.
You ever? Anybody ever actually see Beverly Hills 90210?
Yeah.
I only saw bits of it, but I was that kid that he was just like, you would hear the first opening trail and then you would immediately start changing to another channel. But yeah, you did still see bits of it.
Yeah, but that's just kind of the whole thing where it's just like, because yeah, it's kind of still that whole thing. Because I think I think in the Sam Raimi movies he's what, like, he's maybe I guess maybe in the Sam Raimi movies he's supposed to be set like either college or just out. Was it, or was he still in school?
I think it was a college situation. I think it was out of high school, and I think he was in college year, but I don't know it. No, he was kind of like an internship with Doc Ock. So it's kind of like just in the college year, but I don't think he was actually in college. Just kind of on an apprenticeship situation.
Yeah.
All I know is there was a subway scene, and the guy was like, he knocked out the controls, they're smashed, and I'm just thinking, this is a subway car, there are like controls in every car. Just go to the other end.
Yeah, but
at the very least they'd be on the other side of the car. Like you're doing like you don't have a runaround track for this thing. You're not going to be just like looking out the window and driving it from that side. No, just like run to the other side and then hit the brakes. That's all you need to do.
My brain immediately, the moment you said hit the brakes, my brain immediately went to the Star Fox 64. If you end up getting knocking out all of the switches for the train, it's just like, no, hit the brakes! I can't stop it!
But like one of the big things about like subway cars, like that was very revolutionary about these things was like, so like, the big thing was you had, hang on, I'm scribbling a diagram. One of the big innovations was, I'm just gonna make that to be like a control lever there and a control lever there, was you could have a whole string of these things and just like and the big revolutionary thing was they had MU cables, which allowed them to be able to control however many amount of cars just from one control stand, which meant that there would have been another control stand at the other end. That was the big thing. But that
can I give a cynical thought on this one?
Sure.
We are dealing with essentially New York, and probably New York that is not putting a lot of money into the upkeep and uptake of their mass transit for pedestrians.
Now you see, this is where I raise, what era does this movie take place?
2000s, early 2000s, like 2002, 2003.
Well, that's very shortly after the 90s when they actually had a guy who cared about the transit system who was like basically bringing it back to par. The 1990s was kind of like the heyday of the subway system. Or I wouldn't say the heyday, but the revival.
Yeah,
and then like whoever was like the next mayor at the time got jealous of the fact that everybody was praising the guy who was in charge of the New York City subway, and then like basically took away his power or whatever. So the guy who was in charge of the New York City subway at the time, I don't remember his name, but he basically had he basically never traveled by car ever. He only ever traveled by the subway in the time that he was in charge of the New York City subway, which is a very key thing because that makes every little problem with the subway just like right there in your view. So
I almost feel like that should be a requirement for people that are in charge of that stuff, that they actually use it at least periodically.
you see, that should be a requirement, but it's not. So he made it apparent that he would travel anywhere in the city or everywhere in the city by subway, and as a result, he knew all the things that needed to be fixed and began fixing them. And yeah, I can't remember who that guy was though. I know that he also worked for like some Canadian transit company as well. But yeah. Scribble.
You know, I did hear something interesting on the radio today that I thought I'd at least mention it here. I don't know if you know anything about it. You're probably an expert for all I know, though.
What is it?
Apparently, there's a preservationist society. I forget the name now. It sounds like it's some preservationist society for some old ladies' cookies, but it's actually for Walt Disney's train.
I do not know this actually.
Yeah, Walt Disney apparently had his own personal train that he had in the backyard of his house that he would take people to take rides with people on.
Oh, that train. That's the one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the name of the. Yeah, apparently though it has a preservationist society because I guess Disney doesn't want to upkeep it too much, or for some reason there's not a lot of people involved with trying to keep it up. So.
Yeah, this was like his small scale railway, right? The like seven and a half inch gauge or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just heard a story. They were just talking about an old woman's obituary, and that she was like how some of them are interesting because you read them and you're like, she was like a charter member of this foundation. You just wonder what the hell that is, and you look it up and it's like, oh, that's actually apparently a foundation where they are trying to preserve the Walt Disney's railroad that he used to own, that he owned in his house, in his personal property. It's like really, yeah. I forget the name of the society though, which is really weird. It sounds like it belongs to a society of people that like a shortbread cookie. Like they have a weird way of making shortbread cookies that they want to preserve for the rest of time, because even though it doesn't taste all that good, it's history and tradition or something like that. Let's see if I can find the Carroll Wood Society.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. The Carroll Wood Society, dedicated to preserving the personal railroad legacy of Walt Disney. Walt Disney always loved trains. He was always one of the greatest rail fans. Those uninitiative and personal financial resources. He was responsible. I'm sorry. He was responsible for preserving real steam railroading for generations to enjoy at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and other Disney theme parks around the world. Walt Disney helped to build and enjoy sharing one of the most intricately detailed miniature live steam home railroads ever created. A 1/8 scale Carroll Wood Pacific Railroad, the Backyard Pike, located at his estate in Holmby Hills area of Los Angeles. But yeah, apparently they have a whole foundation. You can become a member and get like a pin and stuff for it to help fund it.
I see.
Yeah.
I would consider it, but there are other historical societies I kind of want to join beforehand, like
No, I know. I just
Oh, yeah.
I just was wondering if you knew anything about it, because it seemed like something that would be right up your alley.
I do know somewhat about it. Oh, by the way, fun fact: one of the key guys who got Walt Disney into trains, Ward Kimball, was also one of the key guys when it came to the restoration of the two 440 type steam recreation of the two 440 type steam engines to replicate the 2440s that were used at the famous Golden Spike ceremony for the Transcontinental Railway.
Nice.
Which is interesting, because it's like, when you think about, like, you know, something like that, you don't think of an animator. You think of, like, you know, some engineer or something.
I don't know. I mean, normally yes, but at the same time, I've seen so many people that, you know, they all, you know, you wouldn't imagine them having a fascination with things, and it's always more interesting because sometimes their fascination is actually more detailed than what they are into. I mean, you're an amazing artist, but you could probably run circles around me in regards to train lore. Train lore.
Train lore. Okay.
Train lore.
I know a bunch of random stupid stuff about trains, mostly railroads that no one cares about nor should care about. I particularly like the inconsequential, obscure short lines of Vermont. So, yeah.
Yeah. Blah blah blah. English words me fail. I'm trying to
Let me see if I can do
rotary my process.
Let me see if I can do like a good loose
I had
map
chicken
from
pudding.
Alright, so hmm.
I don't know why this just popped into my head.
You know what?
Derby driving a muffin train in Vermont.
That would be very weird, but respect, I guess. Actually, I think Bellows Hall's a little bit further south, I want to say.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm imagining just Derpy then. Have you ever seen the Simpsons joke where is somebody's making fun of Lisa's dad, and just like, I heard your dad went to an entire food buffet and they ate all the food and they had to
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, just because my dad is fat doesn't mean he's a food freak. Just he suddenly drives right by at the same time in an ice cream truck, just like guzzling down an ice cream, like rum raisin. Just, I don't know. I'm just imagining Derpy driving into like a muffin truck and just eating a muffin the whole time.
Yes, from that episode, King Size Homer.
Yeah.
There's that part where hopscotch is across the islands of Vermont. I'm very bad at depicting geography. Thinking.
Ooh, I lost my chat rooms here. Let's see, Telquo. We also, also the fact the man was giving to year 2, 3 of year 2 or 3 of college. Also the fact man was going to attack the other end.
Yeah, that talks about the Spider-Man stuff from way long ago.
Oh, okay. We love you, chatters.
Somewhere
So Cole,
in the
is
middle
this the
here,
train lines?
Yeah. Somewhere in the middle here is Montpelier. Because Montpelier is kind of towards the center of the state. And then there was this other rail line That was the Montpelier and Wells River, and that went there, and then it also like crossed into New Hampshire a little bit. Yeah, loosely speaking, that's a lot of the old rail lines. Not all of them though, because there are some more that I'm kind of a bit more foggy on. Like there is, so there is the CV line that would go up. And actually, I connected this to the Rutland. It doesn't connect to the Rutland. It connects to the CV here in Swanton. So, hang on. Let me color code this, so that way it makes sense, kind of. Alright. Rutland had a green paint scheme, so I'm just going to color code that green. So... going from here to here, and then here to here, and then there was some other squiggly bits down here. That was the corkscrew division. Central Vermont, I mean, they technically just had a darker green paint scheme, but they also had a black paint scheme at one point, so I'll just make it... No, that won't work.
Back in a quick second, I just realized I really should get some water, or else I am going to be really sick really fast.
Yo, that's a good idea. So, Central Vermont had this line that went all the way around here. And then there... It went a little bit south of White River, and then it becomes the Boston and Maine. For a brief portion. And the B&M continues down there. I think, up until is it up until Brattleboro? I think it's up until Brattleboro. I think. Don't quote me on that. Then B&M line was here, and then it changed to Canadian Pacific. What am I going to use for Canadian Pacific? They had a gray scheme. I'll go with gray.
The color of maple syrup.
It's Vermont. It's all maple syrup.
I know. I'm making fun of. I'm joking about the whole Canadian maple syrup thing.
That's fair. Fun fact: their logo was a beaver. Then there is.
So their beaver was on full display. Everybody could see their beaver.
Yeah, very much so.
Remember, everybody, you gotta watch out for your beaver. You gotta protect your beaver so people don't see it too often. Your beaver has to be a shy beaver.
Oh,
unless you're Winona, because then you show it off to all your friends.
There's also the D&H there. This is technically B&M trackage. Yeah. There we go. A very loose map of a lot of the railroads in the state, but technically not all of them because there's still more. Because the CV also had this other branch line that went like that. And I think that's most of the 1940s map.
I think we should just call it good and run away from it all, because this looks like it's a colored hell map.
Yeah, but it could be worse. So, if you want to look at like the old 19th century maps of things like this, hang on. Let me pop up Railroad map Vermont. Oh, here we go.
I know.
Oh, that's not a railroad map. That's not helpful at all. Here we go. So, most of the time railroad maps are made to look like this, where There's just like a bunch of really thick lines, and then all the other ones, yeah, good luck. Side note, this one is a map from the 19th century because it includes the Rutland Railroad as part of the Central Vermont Railroad. Huh, interesting. Anyways, right. I think that's probably enough of that. Apologies, I really like my trains.
You gotta follow your passions, man. I could go on a complete tirade on gaming and anime if I really wanted to.
I could go into depths on each railroad and some little characteristics of them, but I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want that. So I'll just continue drawing horse.
Will it be Bad Horse?
No, it'll be Muffin Horse. What else would we do on the day before Muffin Day?
Indeed.
Sorry. I'm not sorry, but it's just my brain. Bad horse, bad horse.
Damn, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Neither have I. The song's still stuck in my head forever, though I blame ponies for that.
That's fair.
Still fascinating how that movie got created.
Yeah, right?
Which movie again?
Dr. Evil, Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Blog.
I always forget that's a movie. I don't know why.
It's really not much of a movie. It's like only 45 minutes long, and it just feels like a YouTube joke. It really does.
Well, you gotta remember, for TV, 45 minutes can be considered a movie.
Was it even on TV?
I mean, no, just in general, I meant.
Oh well, TV doesn't count. For crying out loud, yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, think about how many times you may have looked at something and said it was a movie, and you go pick it up and it is like 45 minutes, and it's because it played on TV with commercials.
Oh well, but I was going to make a joke about like TV movies don't count because you have the Hallmark movies and the Lifetime ones where it's just like the same exact thing. It's not, can't even be considered a movie, or it feels like it shouldn't be.
I thought the sing-along blog was actually released as like a weird podcast blog kind of thing in segments.
I think it might have been. I honestly don't know the history of it too much, but
and then they slapped it all together and called that a movie.
Maybe?
I might be wrong, but that's what I thought it was.
Where are you? And I know. Where are you? And why do you keep causing this coloring not to work?
I have been cleaning my house like a madman today.
Any particular reason, or just kind of got that fever?
Because tomorrow's Derp Hooves Day, and I've got a friend coming over to exchange muffins, and I have not cleaned my place since summer. So, yeah.
Fair enough. You know what?
Yep.
It's a good enough excuse. Go for it.
Yep. I needed it. Truly.
And I've given up trying to just fill paint Lumi, so now I'm trying to color her by hand. Why, Lumi? Why must you be difficult? Even though it's technically my fault, and because I don't know how to use paint, the Paints Pro.
Oh, that's a mood.
I am a mood. Cole is going to be swamped with his winter wrap. I don't know. He might not wrap up winter ever.
No, I want winter to stay. I don't want to mow my lawn. Nor do I want air conditioning bills.
Fucking dare you! I don't want winter to stay. I love the seasons, but but winter is long.
I don't mind the winter. I just hate the summer because it gets so hot. But I have plans to try to finally plant some fruit trees and maybe make a small garden with green peppers and maybe one other vegetable.
You see, I don't normally hate winter, but this year is different. Because this year, I don't have a waiting room at my train station where I work.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay, he has all the reason to want it to end.
Well, I'm afraid of what summer's gonna bring if winter's this extreme.
At this rate, I think outside of there's very little that it can bring that would surprise me at this point.
Don't say that, because it'll try now.
It's gonna have to try pretty damn hard. I mean, I've gotten so fed up with everything that I literally checked myself off of social media here for at least a week. I'm so tired of so much crap. I don't care. Just want a moment of peace and happiness without having to feel like everything I love and believe in is going to. Yeah, I'm going to stop from there.
Yeah.
I've not been a happy camper.
I don't think.
And
I don't think most people have been.
Admittedly, the medical appointment wasn't exactly the great peach in the. I mean, I didn't have anything severely bad show up, but at the same time, it's not like I was, rainbows and diamonds with my medical appointment. It's like you're not cancerous, but you're fat. You know what? I know I'm supposed to just take that with a smile, but it still sucks to hear.
Heck. You'll get there, Circuit.
I will.
I believe in you.
Seriously, I'm kind of worried about a couple of spots on my legs that kind of popped up, and I was admittedly afraid that they were probably cancerous. So one of the big reasons I decided to get a checkup, among other things.
I should probably go to my doctor at some point. Or actually, no, I should get a doctor at some point. That's what I should do.
Yeah, that was actually the hardest part of. Nobody ever prepares you for that in life. And it doesn't help when you don't exactly talk to adult figures that you've had help set up your appointments, especially since you don't. I don't remember if I ever had a family doctor or if even he was still alive anymore. That's how crazy my life still is.
Fair.
Yeah.
I haven't had a doctor in years. I have a dentist.
This is good.
Yeah.
Heck, fresh slate on a doctor, man.
I'll look into it at some point. Later.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, unless you have really good insurance or a really extreme reason,
I do have insurance, so I presume it's okay insurance, But
Yeah.
Really should start going doctor in, but it's like it was that whole it was that whole thing where I like definitely never had like I for a while I was like part-time in places and things like that, so I didn't have insurance, and this was of course back before it got mandated by the government, of course.
Yeah.
yep.
But yeah, and then just after a while, even when I finally got to a job where it was like, oh hey, this is actually good health care that you have, I just had that. I just was like, well, I mean, I haven't been in like years, and now I just don't want to go in there and just hear everything they're gonna probably say.
You see,
Actually, that's pretty much that was my exact fear. 120%.
Oh yeah,
Still
same.
my fear even now.
Same. I will say I had the same feeling whenever I went to the dentist for the first time, because or first time forever, because beforehand I hadn't gone to the dentist since I lived in Rutland, Vermont, which was over 10 years ago. There is metal in my mouth that isn't supposed to be there anymore. Or wasn't. So I kind of lucked out because, like, apparently the tooth that it's around is a baby tooth that does not have anything growing beneath it. So my dentist just assumed, oh, that's just a ring around it for support to keep it strong. And I'm just like, yeah, that's the reason why. In all actuality, it was a space maintainer. It was like a ring that connected to a looped wire thing that was to maintain the space for another tooth to grow in. And that tooth grew in, and then it broke. But that ring stayed in there. And now it's just there to stay forevermore until that tooth falls out, which might happen one day because it is a baby tooth. And yeah,
I'm surprised it hasn't fallen out at this point. If it's a baby
my
tooth.
mouth is fucked up, yo. Like, I didn't start losing teeth until much later in life than is normal. Like, to the point where when I lost a tooth in class, the teacher was genuinely concerned that I was hurt, but no, it was a baby tooth and I knew it.
Yeah, honestly, again, like, I know when the next time I go to the dentist, I'm gonna be in so much trouble, because I'll admit I am terrible at keeping up with I will go like a couple of days without remembering to brush. That's just because I will wait. That's because I have this bad habit of waking up at like 7:45 to start work at 8 now.
Yeah.
I will say you're doing a lot better than me. I go to the dentist twice a year, and guess what? I rarely ever brush. I am admitting that.
I used to rarely ever brush. Now I brush every night because last year I had to have a root canal, and that was not fun. It wasn't as bad as people said it was going to be, but it was not fun. I did not want it to happen again. I do know that I have cavities on one side of my mouth that need to be tended to at some point, but largely speaking, my mouth is okay. I just need to floss, which I need to floss. I should have started flossing, but I didn't. So, that's a thing. I was told by my dentist that if I floss regularly, I'll be a very boring patient, which is good, but yeah, I didn't do that yet. Things to work on this year, among everything else.
Admittedly, I'm kind of mid-range between both aspects there. I don't brush as often as I should. Maybe, I mean, I'll go on for a few weeks stint, and then something will happen that will kind of throw me off of the habit, and then I have to fight to get myself back onto it. But it's not like I don't brush my teeth at all ever, or only once in a blue moon. Granted, I got dumb lucky in a lot of cases. I've had more than a few fillings and teeth caps put in, but no root canals or anything yet. Though, obviously the fear of that is enough to.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's a combination, because it's like you're so afraid of getting the root canal that you want to brush up more often, but when you forget to brush, you're also more terrified to actually go to the dentist in case they do find it, and you're gonna end up like with a ton of pain and a ton of expenses in the process.
Oh yeah, the expenses are big time.
Yeah.
I have dental insurance, right? And yeah, I still paid like over $1,000 out of pocket.
Yeah, it's the dental insurance. It just like it protects you from like the smallest bit, but you still have to like. Put
No,
the ton of
it does. Believe me, it was still a lot because like so, if I didn't have dental insurance, it would have cost me over $3,000.
Oh,
Yep.
You know what? I apologize.
Yeah. So dental insurance, it's pretty important if you can get it.
I will say I've gotten lucky. No cavities or I've had no cavities or fillings, even though I only brush once in a blue moon. But people, please take care of your teeth. They're all you got. You don't want to have to go to dentures.
Do as we say, not as we do.
The only major thing I really had was I chipped a tooth. I don't know why it was so fragile, but I got it. They put some filling in there, and it's been good since.
I had a metal filling gum kind of crack on me. It was kind of really, it was really weird. That was a really uncomfortable week, I'll tell you that much.
I probably need to stop chewing ice.
I have never been able to chew ice, and I have no idea how people do that. Admittedly, I have more sensitive teeth than most, but that's still, it's just like, I chew ice. Why? That ice is cold, and cold hurts. Why? Oh, why do you do that? Even thinking about it makes my
Admittedly, I only really chew ice once it's like once it's gotten like really small in my drink and it just happens to be in my mouth.
Yeah, fair enough there.
That and also when I get like when you get that like that Sonic style ice, the pellets.
The really soft ice, like a Quick Trip too.
By the way, for everybody out there, honestly, yeah, we talk a lot, but if you do have insurance and you do have the time, do get checked out by a doctor at least once a year. It's terrifying to hear that you might have something wrong, but it's better to find out about it when something can be done than later when nothing can be done.
This is true. In my case, it was very close to the nothing can be done part. I can definitely say, that's good to avoid if you can.
Yeah, it sucks. It's terrifying, and I don't know why we have such a culture of being so afraid that we're wrong or that we did something bad. That we avoid it at all more costs than just.
To be perfectly honest, I think the other part too is just the fact that even though there is health insurance out there, everybody still looks at medical procedures as anything medical that as it's going to basically cost. It's going to end up being this big expense.
It doesn't help we got more than enough horror stories about insurance companies doing everything possible not to pay for any of it, and you end up having to either go into like crazy amounts of debt or do a lot of calling and legwork and stuff just to fight for it, for them to pay for it.
Yeah, it's not the procedures that scare me. It's the bills.
It's always the bills. There really are ways of fighting it though, and it's not as bad as we might think, but it's still pretty bad out there. I'm not gonna lie. In all honesty, though, it's better to have a little debt and live than not to have any debt and die early and in pain in horrible ways. You heard me out there.
I wish we had better insurance in this country. No, actually, no. Not better insurance, but just like better health care. That'd be good. That'd be cool.
There's a lot
Yes.
There's a lot of things we need in this country, but I think people are becoming more obvious to it, so I think things will change eventually. Hopefully sooner than later.
I did notice that where I live, there's actually been a little bit more of a push towards bike infrastructure and not just bike lanes that are the only thing protecting you is paint. So
Yeah, don't worry, Sonic. The show will not have any of this talk, but we may draw about it.
Oh, guess what? I got a bicycle this weekend.
Oh, does it have
Look at my
handlebars?
kind.
Does it have what?
Handlebars?
Yes, it does. I do have handlebars. I do.
Oh well, that's the lame, man. I can ride my bike with no handlebars.
No handlebars?
No handlebars.
Oh, I remember that song.
Look at me, dancing like it's great to be alive.
I really do want to get a bicycle though. It would be nice to have one. Actually, take it to go to local grocery stores or different places and actually get, try to save up more on gas. But I mean, I barely go anywhere in my car right now. But
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I should do that because I mean, with a bike, it would only take me like maybe 10 minutes to go down the road to the grocery store.
There's several reasons I don't ride bike anymore, but I know Toa rides his to work to McDonald's miles at a time.
Noah rides his bike with no handlebars. There is a ditch. There he goes. That doesn't have to rhyme. I'm kidding.
Please, kids, remember to buy some fucking handlebars.
And a helmet. If you don't want the knee pads, that's fine, but the helmet, please.
Also,
Not the easy one.
An important thing to learn when you learn to ride a bike, learn how to tuck and roll.
Oh yeah.
That's legitimately the only way I've ever broken a bone in my life. I was literally just coming out of my driveway at my house. I was just gonna go ride the bike around the neighborhood, and I somehow hit the brakes wrong, so the bike just came to a dead stop. So it threw me over the front, and I landed right on my left wrist.
Oh.
Oh.
Also, hello, Octi Melody. Hello, Chaos Akai.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny when you think about broken bones, but yeah, luckily it was a clean break. So it was like there was no pieces or anything. It just broke, and they were able to just basically put it into place, cast it, and there we go.
Yeah, they Lego pieced you back together.
Yep.
Which isn't bad. It's not bad at all.
And it's funny. It was funny when I was working auto injury claims, and like a bunch of other people the people I worked with like had no idea what a commuted fracture and stuff like that was. And I was like, oh yeah, that's when you don't have to, that's when you don't have to like basically open their arm up to get everything back together.
Mental images, brain.
Oof.
Oh, trust me, I had to have those mental images because then that let me know whether or not I had to pay people more.
It's a good one. If you can picture it in your head and doesn't make you cringe, they're fine.
Well, yeah. Well, let me put it this way. There's a difference in how much you get for basically a broken bone that they can just splint and cast versus they have to open your arm up and you can things like that.
Oh god.
Trust me, sir. Yeah. Basically,
no, that's not the worst. No,
yeah.
Sorry. Chaos Akai mentioned he shoot tinfoil as a kid. Now I'm just.
How?
No, I don't know either, and my brain does not want to process that.
Good.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Suki.
I was just gonna say because basically that was the whole thing. Like for me, at the very least, before sorry, this is no secret out there in the insurance industry. We had one of those programs that was supposed to kind of get an idea of like a settlement range on things like that. We had one of those systems. The good thing is that we weren't Allstate. We didn't fuck with it just to make the numbers lower. In fact, if anything, over the couple years that I used it, I always saw it keep going up. So yeah, we were actually on our for our use of it, we were actually figuring it out and actually making it work properly. But yeah, essentially before I went into something like that, like if your fracture had surgery on it, I pretty much immediately added like 10,000 in most states. And the only reason you get 10,000 is because unfortunately, because basically it's one of those things where it's like, okay, say you put this case in front of a jury. If somebody says the accident caused me to sprain my wrist because I hit it against the dashboard. People are gonna be like, okay, it's a sprained wrist, that it recovers and things like that. But yeah, as soon as you get the fracture in there, you immediately have to start thinking about that because, a lot of people will view that as a much bigger thing, even though yes, the fracture can heal just as fine as like a sprain does. In fact, actually, soft tissue injuries sometimes are more likely to actually last.
Yeah, soft tissues can leave the odd marks.
You know what? Chaos Sakai replied, and that's not the reply I would have expected in any regard, but it makes sense in a way. He liked the funny feeling it gave him to chew tinfoil.
Okay.
I can't argue that necessarily because I remember when I was a kid, I would, in some cases I would stick like a 9-volt battery on my tongue. Anybody ever do that as a kid?
No.
No, because not because I thought that would actually shock me, but I just never thought to lick a battery.
It doesn't shock you per se. It kind of shocks you, but it's kind of a weird taste too. It's kind of a unique sensation, to be honest.
I never did that, but one of the bedside lamps, when there wasn't a light bulb in it, I did poke my finger in toward the hole. It felt like tingly spiders.
Ooh.
You want to know what I did at one time? I was lucky not to die. I was trying to fix my ice maker in the freezer at one time. I put in a paper clip with some electrical tape, put it in both ends, and it ended up blowing the fuse at the box. But we were able to turn it back on, and the fridge worked again.
Huh.
I was lucky I didn't get electrocuted and die.
You're also lucky the circuit breaker did its job, apparently. But yeah, no, that was definitely lucky. Wow. All right, so you know what? I'm just suddenly being reminded of destructive things that kids used to do in my high school, and I'm not sure we should spread those stories.
Before you go into that,
Yes.
you know what you should be reminded of?
Your awesome little derpy doll there.
You should be. I was gonna say you should be reminded it's 9:00 Eastern.
Yep.
Actually, I'm also reminded of that as well, and I also wanted to try to interject, but I also kind of like the derpy doll there, and just wanted to enjoy it for a little bit.
It is adorable.
If you want, I can color it real quick, make it a backgroundless vector, and you can put it on the show. If you want to.
Let's actually put a little effort behind it, since I already got all the images and everything set up for the show here, and we're already starting to run a little late. But I would recommend keeping your arting arm a little strong and warmed up, though.
Ooh, what for? What's going on? What you doing?
Well, for the show today, I think we need a little bit of a breather, or basically, I need a little bit of a breather. So we're going to do Gardic Phone.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit of selfishness in that regard, but yeah, we'll still do news and videos and everything. But yeah, Gardic Phone.
Hell yeah. Sounds like
right,
fun. I'm down.
Sweet. Well, but why don't you go ahead and wrap up the pre-show, man? I don't want to steal your buzz.
Oh, by the way, Circuit.
Yes.
Do you have any plans for tomorrow's Derpy Day thing?
I'm making muffins.
Hell yeah. Same.
And I'm planning on lifting weights, but
I'm taking the lazy route and buying muffins at the store before I go to work and having them for breakfast.
Hell
just
yeah.
remember, post a picture of your muffins, whether home baked or store bought. Post your muffins tomorrow, people. I'll be saying this on the show as well. Everybody ask.
See ya. Have a good, enjoy Derpy Hooves Day, everyone. Yeah. Have a good